Once again, I'm so pleased to have this opportunity during this time to work with you on so many programs just to help us all, including myself and all of you, just stay grounded and just stay present in the moment and sort of get the most that we can out of each and every day. So far to date, we've been working on some guided meditation and self-massage programs. And today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be talking a bit about acupressure and acupressure points in the body. The focus of today's acupressure points will be on anxiety, stress, fatigue, and insomnia. And these are all things I'm sure that we're experiencing on a daily basis. And being able to just recognize these factors and find ways to release them is so helpful. It's helpful, and it becomes a learning experience. So when we do massage, we work the energy throughout the body without a particular focus on different points and places. It's just a general circulation and a general release, and that helps also with stress and anxiety. Acupressure is a little more targeted and focused on particular spots that run throughout the body. We have 14 meridians, and on these meridians are different points. And what happens is sometimes you could think of the meridians as rivers of energy, and sometimes throughout those rivers of energy, we get little pools or dams. And on those points, when we work acupressure, we can release them. And sometimes those points get full, and sometimes those points are empty. So again, by activating the points, we open up the energy flow. And that flow of energy is called chi. And that's a life force energy that runs throughout the body. Acupressure itself originated thousands of years ago in Asia, and it spread throughout the world not until the 20th century. So now it's utilized pretty much in all countries. And the goal of acupressure is to restore health throughout the body. The acupoints that we're going to work on, they're about the size of the pad of your thumb. So when we try to activate them, just know we're going to try to get to the exact point, but know that there's room there. So if we activate, throughout about that area, we're doing a good job. Acupressure works with the acupuncture points, but acupuncture is a little more precise. Acupressure obviously does not break the skin like the acupuncture needle would, but it's the same points in the same areas that you would find an acupuncturist working as well. If you really hit on the exact spot, sometimes you feel a soreness or a little bit of a nervy sensation when you notice the point. And then once it's activated, you could feel warmth or itchiness or a little numbness there. And then you've really gotten to it and you've released it. Typically, we're going to do some small circular strokes, or you can do an up and down. Or if it's super tender, you can even just kind of press and hold. The pressure would be like you're trying to feel for your pulse. You're going to kind of press and hold there. And typically the amount of time you'd want to spend on each point is maybe 1 to 3 minutes. So today we're going to do quite a few points. So if we don't get to the full activation of 1 to 3 minutes per point, just know that when you work this on your own, that's about the time that you want to be looking for. So the meridians themselves, we'll just kind of go over the 14 of them, just so you're aware of what they are if you ever hear them spoken about. It's the bladder, the governing vessel, the gallbladder, the heart, the kidney, the large intestine, the liver, the lung, the pericardium, the conception vessel, the small intestine, the spleen, the stomach, and the triple burner. And most of the meridians are on both sides of the body, running up the arm and down or up the leg. And 2 of them are on one side of the body, and the conception vessel runs down the front of the body only. And the governing vessel runs down the back of the body only. One other thing I just want you to keep in mind when we're finding the acupressure points today are the measurements. It's spelled C-U-N, but it's pronounced soon. And 1 soon is the top of your thumb, is 1 soon. 2 soon are the length of 2 of your fingers. 3 soon are 3 of your fingers, and 4 soon are these 4 of your fingers. So just know when you're looking for the points, and I may say 1 soon or 2 soon, that's what we're looking at. 1, 2, 3, and 4. As we begin, again, to find the points, just be in a comfortable position and just breathe in a natural flowing pattern. The breath is always important when we do massage and acupressure. Otherwise, we're holding and we don't have that normal flow going. So just keep the breath in mind. The particular points that we're going to work on today are for anxiety, headache, fatigue, and insomnia. And we're going to go through them one by one. The first one we're going to start with is Heart 7. Heart 7 is going to help us with both anxiety and insomnia. And I'm going to hold up a picture, and then I'm going to show you on my hand where that point is. But Heart 7 is on the pinky side, and it's going to be at the base of the wrist here. So that's the one that we're going to start with. We're going to, it's on, again, the pinky side, and you're going to go to the base of the wrist, right at the crease here, and you're going to come in just a bit past the tendon. You can wiggle your finger, you feel that tendon. Right past the tendon is the Heart 7 acupressure point. So it soothes anxiety, insomnia, heart palpitations. So go ahead now, and you can take your thumb and you can start as you take your breaths in and out, kind of rubbing up and down, or little circular motions around. And we're going to try to get that point to release. Again, if you feel like a little nervy sensation or a little tenderness, you know you're kind of right on that point. And if you're not exactly on it, it's okay, because we have that pad of your thumb with that will still activate the release. That's good. Let's continue to work that. And keep the breath going. And if you prefer to move to a different finger for pressure, you can get a deeper release if you're ready for that by using your pointer finger here. And as you work, you can start to feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it activate. You could feel the pressure, because we're getting the stimulation going. We're getting the release going. Just keep it moving. I know on my point, I'm feeling pretty intense tenderness now, so I know I've activated that point. And it's important when it's important to do both sides of the body. If the point is on both sides of the body, which this is, the Heart 7, we want to release both sides of the body. So we're going to move on to the other side, but just please know when you're doing this at home, spend 1 to 3 minutes on each point for a nice full release. But today I just want to make sure that we get to everything in the time that we have. So moving on to your other hand, again, it's just below that first crease on your wrist, and in ever so slightly past that outer tendon, and just get that moving. Again, this is Heart 7, and it's for anxiety and insomnia, depression, kind of moves things and opens up that whole channel. Sometimes this point could be referred to as spirit gate. And continue the breath. Again, we can use that pointer finger here if you want to get a little deeper pressure. You may notice too, as you continue working on that point, you sort of zero in on it a little bit better, and you could feel the tenderness there and the release starting to activate. You may feel a little warmth, a little tingling, and that's good. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, good. So that's Heart 7. The next point that we're going to work on is for headache release, and it's called Pericardium 6. It could also help if you have a little vertigo. It can help with nausea, motion sickness, and the headaches as well. Now that point is located 3 soon from the wrist, again on the inner forearm, and it's right between the 2 tendons. So you take your 3 fingers from the wrist, so right about here in the middle is going to be Pericardium 6. So here, I can hold up this picture as well as you're finding the spot, just so you could see it on your arm. So again, it's going to be right about here, Pericardium 6. So go ahead and use the pressure that's comfortable for you. Could be, again, those circular motions, or it could be a little up and down. And if it feels very tender, you can again press and hold the pressure as if you were maybe taking your pulse. And just continue to breathe as you do so. You may feel that warmth. And that's good. And you could press and hold. And then again, we're going to move to the other side. The balance is important. So we're going to do the 3 soon from the top of the wrist, and right in the middle between the tendons will be Pericardium 6. Again, this is an effective acupressure point for headaches, and it could also help with vertigo, nausea, motion sickness. Yeah, so sometimes when I feel that little nervy spot, sometimes when you sort of get right on it, you could feel that. I found too, and you may find the same thing, sometimes one side of the body is more congested or filled than the other side. And I know I'm finding my right acupressure point here is definitely more needing the pressure than the left side was. You may find that as well. That's normal. We do little circles, up and down motion, or just press and hold. And continue to take the breaths in and out. Good. Very good. Excellent. The next point we're going to move on to is actually on the foot, and it's the liver 3 point. And I'm going to hold this up and show you where we're going to move to, and I'll show you on my foot as well. But it's on the foot. It's between the big toe and the second toe, right at the base of the tendon here. And I'll show you as well on my foot. I'm going to move my screen down a little bit and show you on my foot. So you're going to be between the big toe and the little toe, right at the base, right at the base. There's a little groove there. You'll actually feel a little groove. You could work on bare feet, you can work through your sock, whatever's most comfortable for you. But again, you're right here between the big toe and the second toe, right between the two tendons at the base of the bones here. So I'm going to put my foot down, but we'll all continue to work together on that spot. And again, that spot is liver 3. Sometimes it's referred to as the great surge, and it prevents the chi stagnation in the body, and it's the most important point for combating stress. It's also good for detox and decongestion. It's an important point, and this can be done, throughout the day, if you prefer when you wake up or before you go to bed, but it's an excellent, excellent point for releasing stress. So again, we're right between the big toe and the second toe, right at the base. Yeah, so I know I feel that activate, and I hope you're feeling that as well. So go ahead and work little circles, an up and down motion, or press and hold if you prefer. Good. Hopefully you're feeling the release, the warmth, just feeling that blood flow, feeling the energy moving, and continue your breath. Good. And again, of course, we'll move on to the other foot. Again, we're between the big toe and the second toe, right at the base, between the tendons. Continue the breath in and out. Press little circles. Feel that release. Up and down. Or press and hold. Again, this is liver 3 for stress, decongestion. Continue the breath. Good. Excellent. Okay, so the next point we're going to move on to again, it's for headache, and it's on the back of the head. I'm going to show you our picture here, and then I'll show you on myself as well, but it's gallbladder 20. And gallbladder 20 is at the base of your skull, right here. And there's one on each side. There's one on the left side, and there's one on the right side. Gallbladder 20, again, is for headache. Sometimes it's called wind pool. And it's located, you feel the mastoid ear bone at the back, and follow the groove to where the back of the neck muscles attach to the skull. And again, there's one on each side, one on the right side and one on the left side. Here you can use some deep burn pressure and move towards the skull. So move sort of from the base of the neck up. So a little firmer pressure here. Thumbs are good. Could press little circles. If you hit a wider area back there, it's absolutely fine. But when you get to the spot again, you may feel a little tenderness, a little nervy sensation. And when you do, you can press and hold. And if you're doing movement, you want to move up towards the skull. You can do both sides at the same time, of course. And continue your breath as you do so. Good. The next spot for headaches is gallbladder 21. And gallbladder 21 is also for stress and headaches. And it's the most commonly used point for pain, neck stiffness, and shoulder tension as well. It's located in the muscle of the shoulder. And I'll show you here, right here is gallbladder 21. Right at the top of the shoulder here, gallbladder 21. And again, we can do both sides at the same time. You can use your index finger or a couple of fingers together, and you sort of want a little, not too much pressure, but little pinching of the shoulder muscle. You can use your thumb and your middle finger, or your thumb and your pointer finger, or your thumb and your middle and your pointer finger, and you just sort of go ahead and give those just little pinches just to get that chi going and release. You know, when we do massage, of course, everybody loves their shoulders done, and that pressure feels so good, but you will be surprised just taking your few fingers and just opening up that gallbladder 21 can do quite a bit to relieve stress and tension. And this is something, again, you can do throughout the day. You want to work it for maybe 1 to 3 minutes. And of course, continue the breath. Let's take those little kind of pinching motions. Just get that energy going. Excellent. All right, very good. And I hope everybody is feeling a nice release starting to go. Get that chi moving. We're going to move on now to some kidney points. So the kidney points are on the inner ankle. And again, I'm going to show you on my little man here. The kidney points are on the inner ankles, and we're going to work on points 3, 6, and 7 today. So again, I'll show you on my ankle, and then you'll know where we're at. The kidney 3 is right at the inner ankle bone, about one soon over towards the heel. So here's your bone, and right about here is going to be kidney 3. Kidney 3, 6, and 7, they help with fatigue and depression. They're calming points. This is a point, if you're pregnant, you do not want to work because it can stimulate contraction. So that's the only contraindication to this kidney point here. But assuming you're not pregnant, we can go ahead and work that area with the thumb. Do little circles. You could again you may feel tenderness and that little nerviness, and that's good. Just continue to breathe. And just to continue to breathe as you work that kidney 3 point. And the thumb is a good finger to use for that area. It sort of gets you right into that spot. Just behind the inner ankle bone, kidney 3. I think we're going to work on 3, 6, and 7 on the same foot, and then we'll work on the other foot, 3, 6, and 7. So kidney 6 is one soon below the ankle bone. So here's the ankle bone. So one soon below is kidney 6. So we're going to do the same. The thumb will give you nice pressure for this spot here. Again, kidney 6 also, fatigue and depression. And just continue your breath. Good. Kidney 7 is too soon above the inner ankle bone. So again, here's your ankle bone. Too soon above will be kidney 7. And kidney 7 also for fatigue and depression. It's a good release. And remember, with these acupressure points, sometimes there's a pooling and too much, and sometimes there's not enough. So the release and the stimulation is good for either. And continue the breath. Good. Before we move on to the next ankle, there's one more point here that we'll do. I think it's called Spleen 6. Spleen 6 is 4 soon above the ankle bone. So you take your 4 fingers, and then right at the top here, this will be spleen 6. Again, this is contraindicated if you're pregnant. So if you happen to be pregnant, do not do the spleen 6 point because we don't want to trigger any sort of contraction. But this point is commonly used for insomnia, also anxiety and stress. So again, when you really hit on the spot, you'll feel that little tenderness, that little nervy sensation. So go ahead and work that, little circles, as you breathe. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to just move on to whichever foot ankle you have not done. We'll just move on to the other one. So again, we're going to start with kidney 3. Kidney 3 is just take your ankle bone, the inner ankle bone, and just behind the inner ankle bone would be kidney 3. So go ahead and work that with that nice thumb pressure as you continue to breathe. Again, all these kidney areas are working fatigue and depression, and they could be very calming, not for pregnant women, but for anybody else, very effective. And as you work these at home, at other times and other days, 1 to 3 minutes is a appropriate amount of time for the release. And then again, kidney 6 is 1 soon below the ankle bone, right about here. And you give that some good pressure. And continue the breath. Good. You feel that tenderness, you feel that good release. Excellent. And again, you may feel one side of the body needs it more than the other, and that's very normal and very appropriate. And just know that that's the side of the body that has a little more congestion. Good. And then kidney 7 is 2 soon above that inner ankle bone. So you get your 2 finger widths, and then right there will be kidney 7. So we'll do our circles. You may feel a little tenderness. Release that. And take your breaths. And again, the kidney points are for fatigue and depression, and they're very calming. Good. And then lastly, 4 soon above the ankle bone is spleen 6. So you take your 4 finger widths, and right at the top there will be spleen 6. Spleen 6 is commonly used for insomnia. The kidney and the liver meridians intersect here. So it has a lot of good energetic release happening when you work on spleen 6. Again, contraindicated if you're pregnant. Do those little circles as you breathe. Good. And press and hold. Excellent. Okay. Now I hope everybody got that energetic release of chi from touching on those points. And as I said, the longer you work on them throughout your time at home, when you're working this acupressure points, you'll feel a greater and greater release. And it's most effective if acupressure is done on a regular basis. So even if you pick a couple of your points that feel it needs it more than others, just stay with it, be persistent with it, and you're gonna feel a lot of good things happening for you. So the last spot we're gonna do, it's just a general relaxation point, and it opens up the conception vessel, which runs down the whole front of your body, and it's very heart opening. And it's this spot right here just between your eyebrows. So in closing, we'll just take a moment and just ground a little bit and get your breath. And just take whatever finger is most comfortable. Could use your thumb, could use your index finger. And just work that spot here as you close your eyes and breathe. And if you could have your feet on the floor, as you breathe, you should feel a nice grounding kind of from your head to your toe. And a last breath in and out. Okay, peace and love and happiness and safety to everybody. I thank you all so much for joining. Once again, for guided meditation and self-massage, I will see you Thursday at 1:30. And in the meantime, be well.